What up, good people? Y'all know what time it is, man. It is the BOTB Live Show. I'm Jay Walker the third. That's my brother, my partner, my co-host, Carolina Dirt. What's happening with you, bro?
Man, shit, bro. I'm ready for this heat to be over, boy. Damn, broiling in here in South Carolina, boy.
Hey, man, look, you better believe it. But it ain't going nowhere no time soon, man. Y'all know how it is down here in the dirty, man. It is post-depression heat.
Yeah, man.
Or current depression heat. I don't know what you want to call it, cuz it's hotter than bitch. That's what I know.
Yeah. Man, I was somewhere, man. My drawers were wet, but I felt so nasty, bro.
Yeah, hey, man, look. Hey, we ain't gonna talk about your nether regions, but I feel what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying.
Bro, it's
You know what I'm talking
wet
about?
heat, bro. That wet heat, bro.
Like an extra set of clothes, dude. Like an extra set of clothes, man. But look, coming back to the show, man. Friend, family member, your residential motivational speaker. Get down to business. We call him Anthony Dodson, aka Mr. Six Ways. Young brother, how's it been?
I'm good, bro. Y'all talking about y'all heat. Y'all ain't got nothing on this Houston heat. And this
Hey,
Houston
man,
is something different.
we can have the battle of the heats, cuz, but I think we gonna find out if you come here and we go there, it suck the same.
Yeah, it do, but see, we got that wet heat. Like, so like how you talking about he's sweaty, like that's how our heat is. Like my homeboys just came down here and they had to have fans and water bottles. I'm like, man, y'all gotta relax.
Get somewhere and sit down.
Well, for real.
But that be the key. You can't move around too much. Other than the AC on. But if you one of the people that's always up and moving, bro, you just create more heat, bro.
Yeah, cause if it's 90 here, it feel like 110, 115. So
Yeah, I mean it's the I don't know, cuz we got alligators. I don't know nowhere that got alligators that it ain't hot. You feel me? So I to me, it's about the surroundings. It's the wildlife around you, God. Because when it's too hot for snakes and it's too hot for alligators, God, those are dinosaurs basically. You feel me?
yeah, I mean, I would say the same, but we be having bugs you ain't never seen before, bro. I be seeing flies that look like they on steroids out here, so I just stay
For sure.
inside. I stay
For
inside.
hey,
I stopped by this old man on the corner selling watermelon. I was telling my brother the other day, man. Damn mosquito bit me, bro. I thought about turning into a damn mosquito superhero. I thought I was this Spider-Man first cousin, bro. I felt that shit for like the next hour. I done came home, put alcohol, hand sanitizer, everything on, bro. I thought I was transforming on the inside.
I thought I'd be the only one that put hand sanitizer.
for sure. For sure.
Hey, bro, I be doing the hand sanitizer like it's alcohol for real. I be.
Yeah, hey. Every time I put on hand sanitizer, cause I'm going elbow high. I might hit my face with it depending on how strong it is.
Shit, man. I didn't have no alcohol. I put that shit on my head. I had fresh and shade. Man, I had hand sanitizer everywhere, bro. I was glowing and everything.
Hey man, in a real way. Hey, look, that is Negro ingenuity, cuz. That's what that is. Hey, but y'all remember though, y'all remember the pandemic, cause I said this. I think the coincidence of Tito's vodka starting to suck and the pandemic go hand in hand. Cause y'all remember when the hand sanitizer just smelled like vodka?
Yeah, straight alcohol. Alcohol.
I promise you, cuz that's where Tito's went bad. Cause if it wasn't for the pandemic, Tito's would still be good vodka.
Hey, no bullshit, man. Ollie's bargain store. I don't know if y'all got it in Houston, but we got it in Columbia. It's called
It's one in Aiken. I done been to Ollie.
Bro, when COVID happened, bro, they were selling the hand sanitizer in a vodka bottle. It was the same shape as a vodka bottle. I swear to you, bro. It was hand sanitizer. And that shit was authentic. Yeah, that shit was authentic. Because, hand sanitizer running out of place, so you had to go find little bargain stores that had hand sanitizer, bro. They had that.
It looked like the Tonka vodka. It looked like the Tonka vodka.
Yeah.
It smelled like it too. You get pulled over just trying to be clean, they gonna take your ass to jail because they say you smell like the whole liquor store. He said, bro, all I try to do is keep my hands clean. Y'all told me 6 feet away and keep my hands clean. Now I
Now
got a
you saying I'm
DUI.
drunk.
Right? Oh man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I don't know. You paying attention to this playoff, this finals?
Yeah, I've been watching a little bit, man. My boy Halliburton, he upset me right now.
Man, look, I pull for the Pacers off of the strength of a newfound respect for Reggie Miller. Retirement Reggie Miller ain't like it was back in the day when he was playing. But also SGA, man, like he is as advertised. He is as
I think
advertised.
he a flop artist, man. I'm
Well,
sorry.
that's most of these dudes though.
Yeah, I mean he doing what he supposed to do. I can't even hold him. He doing what he supposed to do. I'm not gonna hate on him. And then Williams, I just need him to get on the bench because when them two in the game together, it's a wrap.
For sure. For sure. But we gonna see how it go, man. We gonna see how it go.
Oh no, I got the Pacers, but I got OKC winning the next game. I think it's over with.
Oh man. Yeah. I'm pulling for the Pacers. I ain't really got no dog in the fight because I ain't gonna lie. I watched my first NBA game for the first time in probably 9 years on game two.
Okay.
It just like, and it's that OG Unk shit because the game just ain't the same no more, man. I need ferocity. I need opposition. I need, okay, I know these two dudes don't like me. You know what I'm saying? I know these two dudes don't like each other. And it ain't been like that in a long time.
Nah, you get a technical foul for that.
Yeah.
You get a T for that.
We'll just hand out the text, cuz they got enough money because they getting paid like they've never been paid before.
But you see how they doing our boy Ja, so it's
Yeah.
tough.
For sure. For sure.
Shit, they were talking about thinking about trading. Well, the rumors about him getting traded, but he probably ain't going nowhere.
I think he a franchise player. I think they'd be dumb to remove him.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah. Once the city embrace you, cuz you would have too much to explain.
I don't know. They did it with Luca though.
They did do it, Luca.
They did do it with Luka. I
But
don't
you
know.
see,
Maybe do you think a change of scenery would do him any justice?
No,
I say the same thing.
I think with his mindset and just I never did get it. Like you, like Derrick Rose or somebody like that, I can understand them acting like that. You know what I'm saying? Where they from, their environment. You know what I'm saying? How they grew up. Ja, you didn't grow up like that. You know what I'm saying? You didn't grow up where you know what I'm saying all your friends is dying and all the gang activity and stuff like that. You could tell because most of the dudes that in the league that come from that type of environment, they're not really flashy. They don't do too much. They don't really bother people. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you look at Michael Beasley, like he aggressive when he talking junk, but like in the game and stuff, like you don't see him doing too much extra. So I think with Ja, it's this new generation of kids, man, and they look at all that stuff as fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even the crime rates now, like how these kids be killing each other. It's like, yeah, but when you go to jail, you ain't got no gun, brother, and you can't fight.
he can't
So
fight.
you and that somebody little girl.
Hey,
Yeah, I was
straight
thinking,
like that.
I was also thinking, like, even though something ain't Memphis, I just think he had a chip on his shoulder. Regardless, every athlete has a little chip on his shoulder. But coming from something to Memphis is like, it's like a world that he think he know, but he really don't know, and is trying to be a part of a world that he think he know, that he really don't know. But you losing the same bag that you was chasing. The same
Bruh.
bag you trying to chase, you gonna end up losing for not growing. I'll say that for not growing up. Because as an athlete, as a celebrity, you gotta grow faster than somebody normal, just as fast as
He
somebody normal, if not more, because the amount of money that's on your back.
And all the
and
eyes that's
he
on him.
Yeah,
right. Well, he done messed up his bag because with all the shit that went on, whether you think it was an issue or not. Like because of the things that he did, he probably fucked off $25 million, cuz.
Oh, he probably messed up more than that in endorsements. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
That's what
saying?
I'm saying.
Like, cause I hate to say it, and I hate to compare him to Caitlin Clark. Like, Caitlin Clark is that white hope. So you see how they treating her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you. I look at it like this. When you look at the top athletes, top basketball players, your Kevin Durant's, your LeBron James, your Steph Curry's, they're very nice. The best way to say it. They're very conservative. They're very unconfrontational. Like people hear stuff about KD, but you don't see it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You don't see it in LeBron. You don't see it in Steph Curry. So you being the next athlete up, why do you want to be the enemy?
Exactly. That's true. That's the
Like I
truth.
do think they picking on them, but at the same time, are they picking on you or you put yourself in position for them to make an example out of you?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, is some of it is youthful exuberance. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you know that he didn't grow up like that. Because had he grew, I think kids that grow up like that, like your Kawhi Leonard, your DeMar DeRozans, because they came from such a harsh life, they don't want to do shit to fuck up the bag. And I think because maybe he didn't have to struggle. His mom and dad provided a life for him. He take for granted that shit could just go away.
I mean, yeah, and I think even if you look at Bron, like think about Bron coming into the league, like he was known for getting money to try to provide for his family and stuff like that. So I think that you can tell when a kid don't come from that because how they treat it, how they carry it, how they carry those circumstances and those arenas. Like even with me, it's like it's certain situations where it's like, nah, I can't do that.
Right.
I can't move like that. You got it. I can't say what I want to say because of the light is on you. You know what I'm saying? Once you sign up to be up under that light, you sign up for a different type of life. But my question to y'all is it him or is it his dad? Because his dad is going everywhere with him. So when do you be a father in that situation?
But not only the father, the friend, the uncle, the aunt, the village around him that helped him get to that spot where he at. Um, some fathers ain't shit, some mothers ain't shit, some aunts ain't shit, some brothers sisters ain't shit. But there's other people around you that's just as important to help you get over that hump. And
Somebody should be telling you you
right.
fucking up the bag.
But like both of y'all said, it seems like his father was always in his life. So I'm with you. Like as a father, what are you doing to help get your dad straight? And I wanted to ask you also because when you look at how you're a motivational speaker and how you talk to the youth and you talk to grown-ups, does the bag that the listeners have make a difference
Hmm.
on how you approach your speaking engagement? The reason why I'm saying that because like if you were to talk to somebody like John that got a bag, he probably won't listen to everything you say. But if you talk to damn Tyrone who have the same background as Ja, but he just didn't make it to the league. He don't have the bag behind him. Do you think they perceive you in the same light?
So I think it's in my approach. I think it's different. Like I went to a speaking engagement one time and I was out in Kansas and them kids didn't come from what I come from and it was like I had to take a step back and talk into a language that they understand because they wasn't used to death. They wasn't used to the fast life. Like the nearest McDonald's was an hour away. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they eating natural food. You know what I'm saying? They happiness is going to a Walmart or a Target. That's their mall. So I think it's the approach. Like me talking to somebody like Josh, like who you do it for. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be the conversation for somebody like Ja, where somebody like Tyrone is like, now that you don't got that, does that mean you stop doing what you're doing? Do you still you gotta find a motivation in something else that's gonna bring you to where you once was at. So the bag that's behind my audience definitely plays a major role in what I talk about and how I talk. Um, I was literally just telling my assistant earlier, we're transitioning and it hurts to transition, but in order to feed my family, I have to. I know that when it comes to speaking to the Tyrones, it ain't no bag behind it. Like them schools ain't paying for me to come. Like because at the end of the day, they don't got no money. They don't have no resources. But the schools that a Zion Williamson would come from has the bag.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
like, do I want to spend my time speaking to these kids that already have everything that they need? Do they need me? Possibly. But who needs me more in those type of situations is the teachers. Because when you think about a Zion or a Josh, think about how they get to treat their teacher. And the teacher
Right.
can't do nothing because if you piss that one student off that's bringing in all these funds for the athletic department, you out of a job. Or trying to get a job to understand, or trying to get a Zion to understand, or try to get these top athletes to understand what you're trying to teach them, because sports ain't always there.
Yeah.
So I'm transitioning now to teaching these teachers and these parents and these developmental leaders how to be leaders. Because a lot of people feel, and I'm not saying this is in Josh's situation, but his dad could be like, man, if I go say this to my son, he may cut my bag off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or if I'm his friend and I'm like, Josh, nah, bro, that ain't it. And everybody else like, nah, bro, fuck what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? Da-da-da-da-da. Hey, man, you got to go, bro. Like, you a negative Nancy. So it's like, how do you still approach somebody like that ain't really trying to listen? So now my audience is the staff, because you got the money to develop your staff. But you may not have the money to develop that student that you can't reach. So if I can develop the staff and I go speak at, let's say, Zion school, that money can cover me to go to the school that ain't got no money, so I can talk to the kids that was just like me.
Yeah.
Because I realize a lot of them kids is like, and it sucks because I go in the rooms and they like, oh, this kid don't listen, this kid don't do this. I'm like, bro, did he eat today?
Yeah. Yeah.
How many siblings he got? Where's mom at? Where's dad at? Or
Is
they
his
locked up?
clothes clean?
Yeah, like they locked
Is
up.
he
Okay.
clean?
Yeah, I remember I went to school in Alabama and one of the little kids that was like, he's so bright and happy. And like the advisor that I was working with, he was talking to the kid. He's like, hey, how you doing? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. And we walked by him and he was like, yeah, his dad just got killed in prison.
Hmm.
And he knows. You know what I'm saying? But he's still walking around school happy. And then they had one kid that he kept acting out. And I'm like, yo, what's wrong with him? Because I asked him a question and he broke down and got mad. I'm like, he good. And he's like, nah, you don't understand. His mama just died making his seventh sibling.
Hmm.
So they all growing up without their mom. And you know what I'm saying? Teachers don't be realizing that these kids go through the same thing that we go through. Just like, we may look at a breakup as hard, but some of these kids look at a breakup as hard.
Yeah.
Right.
So, it's finding that thin line and understanding that sometimes it's not about the money. And I
Right.
feel like that's why our communities don't get help. Because we don't got the money to give them.
Right. No, that's real talk. Like you got to meet people where they are, but you can't meet somebody where they are if you don't know shit about them. You feel me? You
Bingo.
got to take the time to know, exactly what a motherfucker dealing with. Yeah, as an educator, your life is tough. You don't get paid shit. You got real life shit to deal with. But this kid is 12 years old. He can't even control his life, and his shit is in shambles. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand that.
And they can't commute their emotions. Like, what am I supposed to do? Or this little kid,
Right.
I hate to say it, they getting raped every night. Like, what they supposed to do? They come to you with
Right.
it, they lose their mama. They love their mama, they just don't love the person that's doing that to them.
Right.
They don't know the difference because now my mama may get in trouble. So it's understanding those thin lines, and I think it's tough on these teachers and they're drained. And then you look at these
Right.
principals and stuff. These principals don't know these kids. We ain't got like lean on me principals, but they really, what I'm
Nah.
saying, in the trenches with these kids. Like half of them, when I'm talking to these teachers, it's like, oh, the principal ain't with that. The principal ain't gonna do that. And
Right.
it's like, how dare you? Like my daughter's school, I do not like her principal. I can't stand that lady. And I'll put it out there. She's not for the people, and she's the people. And she gone now, so I can say what I want to say about her. But I can't stand her.
Have you my brother always talk about these fine teachers these days. So through all the schools you've been going through, have you noticed a big gap between the teacher's age and the kid's age, or is it as close as social media is making it? Because that'd be a disconnect in the classroom too. Is back when we were growing up, teachers were what 30, 40, late 30s and 40s,
These
and
teachers are
now,
TikTok artists.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
The men and women, they all over. And I understand that's how you got to reach the youth, but you as a speaker and motivation, these kids, like, do you see that as an issue, a benefit, a negative?
Transparently, I don't think the age matters. It's the mindset.
Yeah.
Right? These teachers ain't caring about teaching these kids no more. They're caring about going viral. They're caring about making the money outside of the school more so than inside of the school. But then I also see teachers that are around their age that understand what they're going through and can embrace them in a different way and teach them things that aren't their normal. But it goes back into that conversation, like you said, is that it's the mindset to understand that, like, okay, these kids need help. They don't need you to go viral. If you want to get rich, then don't go in this profession. Because there's no money in it. You know what I'm saying? If we really being transparent, it's not about the money in teaching, it's about impact. Just like when I go in these places, it ain't no guarantee that every time I go speak and people see me on the stage and I'm getting paid. A lot of these engagements, if a principal or a teacher, and I hope nobody on here try to do this, but because I do like my money, but if they give me a story and they tell me something that I see in myself, don't worry about the money. I'm coming.
Right.
I'm coming. And the reason I'm coming is because I see them. I see my friends. I see me. I see people around me. In a lot of these kids, they lost hope. They have no faith in themselves. They have no belief in themselves. And a lot of them, if you talk to them, they don't like their teachers. Just straight up. Like, I can't stand that lady. She don't care about me. And then when these teachers hear that coming back from the students, they heartbroken. But it's like you got to take that time to really understand that these kids feel how they feel, and it's okay for them to feel how they feel. So I think the age gap, it don't play a role. It's a maturity and mindset thing, and I still blame it on the trajectory of leadership. Why are your teachers all on their phones? Why are they taking videos of these kids? Put them phones down. If I catch my teachers on TikTok, then release them.
Right. I mean, unless they being constructive, you do have some teachers that's on social media doing teacher type things. You feel me? That are speaking life into these kids. But then, like you said, it's the whole thing. Like, grandmamas ain't grandmamas no more. Grandmamas still going to the club, shaking their ass and doing all kind of other stuff. So I think because there's a shortage, because they don't because they, even to this day, they trying to cut funding for education because it's kind of a no-win situation. You got a lot of people, and it's more than just teachers. You got police officers, people that's supposed to be in the community to make a change, that come in to make that change, and they find out that the system it's the fucking system. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily blame all the educators, but you definitely have to be accountable for why you're doing the profession that you're doing.
So I think the thing that frustrates educators, and it's so funny that I'm about to say this, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong. We always talk about we don't have funding for the educators, right? Let that team win the championship. Let that high school be ranked in the top 10 in athletics. Now all of a sudden we got a new football field. We got a new basketball arena. I ain't say gym. We got a basketball arena.
Yeah.
Right.
But now we ain't got we ain't got no funds for education. So how do we get the money for that? How do we get the money to make sure that these sports teams are doing everything that they supposed to do, and these sports kids are more important to the school than everybody else? We won't talk about the valedictorian and the salutatorian, but we'll talk about how this athlete is ranked number 3 in the state.
Right. Now that's real.
3rd grade level.
Yeah.
Right. Or you got those athletes that go to those underfunded schools, and the first thing they do is try to take that kid out of that school and put them in a school with a bunch of people that don't know nothing about their day-to-day life, just so that they can profit off of that person's talent, that kid's talent. So it's a lot of issues, man.
I think the educational system is more focused on athletics than anything else, and I'm glad we're talking about that because I feel like as a culture of Black people, that is our biggest issue. If you really, really think about it, just till recently, when we talk about all these TikTokers and these millionaires that are Black now, they're becoming less and less athletes. But as we
Yeah,
grow up, the only way out of the hood is you got to play a sport. Think about it. When we think about somebody that's coming out the hood, for the last 20 years is, well, he played this
yeah,
or she played that. It was never this person was smart and they're an engineer or they're this or they're that. Now you're looking at people like Casanat who no athletic bone in their body. One of the richest people in the world.
Yeah.
I So Speed, one of the richest people in the world. All these Black millionaires that's teaching credit and real estate and all. Now we're talking to those people. But one of our biggest issues in our community is the first thing that we tell kids, the way to make it out is a sport. It's never a job. It's never entrepreneurship. It's a sport. And it has trickled into our schools too.
but
That's why
again,
our
that
parents take our kids out. They're looking for the success through the sport.
But do you
but
think
that
that's
goes back to that's the system. You feel me? Like many moons ago, when I was in high school, I didn't have to go through nothing crazy to get in a shop class, an auto body class, an auto tech class. Now you can't find those things available. You know what I'm saying? In most schools, just like they just closed the Job Corps out of nowhere because like it's it's becoming more difficult now. I do feel like what you said, we are becoming successful in these other arenas that don't have anything to do with sports. I definitely support that. Castanet is one of my favorite human beings in the world, and I have almost, outside of the color of our skin, you know what I'm saying? I almost have nothing in common. I'm outside of his demographic, but I got a champion, a young Black man that came from nothing. Like again, you talking about this man got footage of him streaming and he got rats in his house, cuz like that's how many kids can't even mentally bounce back from that. You know what I'm saying? So just to see that there is growth and elevation and new arenas for us to succeed in. Um, but the system is the system when it comes to these schools.
I think though, here's the thing, me being in different schools. You Same way we say with the athletes, we could pull them out and we can put them in somewhere else. We can do that with our children. We
For
choose.
sure.
And even with like the shop classes and stuff like that, they don't have that no more. But they also have a lot of classes I ain't never had before, like coding.
yeah.
They're
For
getting
sure.
these kids ready for the AI world where it's like, yeah, you could go do this, but there's a chance that this bot is gonna take your job. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So I think with the educational, and it sounds selfish, but these schools, I hate to say it, they got a lot of schools that's uh focus on one thing. Like I spoke at a fashion school before, like you know what I'm saying, a mathematics school. So it's like, as bad as it sounds, we have to start putting our kids in these places. And I think that a lot of times we do blame these different systems of oppression on the results we have, but then you gotta look at somebody like Cobb that allowed himself to make his own platform. Like I love what he did to BET. Like, bro, I don't need y'all money. I'm just
Oh
out.
yeah,
Yeah, what
for sure.
I don't need y'all good. I get more money than you anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's the aspect of, and that's the give and take about social media, y'all. It's like it can be hurtful, but it can be helpful because now you don't have to wait. Even like rappers, I ain't gonna lie, 98% of these new rappers are trash, garbage. Throw them in the trash can. I don't know what they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't need a deal no more.
Right.
You don't need this label to push your image no more. All you gotta do is make a TikTok song.
Go straight to the people.
And so I just think the opportunities for us, can we still say that oppression is holding us back at this point, or can we say that we're holding ourselves back by using it as an excuse?
I was gonna say, do you think stuff like AAU and high school NIL is gonna ruin it? Because, like you said, we just highlighted on coding and stuff like that, and now when people realize they kid can make 50,000 senior high school, you know they're gonna push them towards something athletic, whether it's volleyball, baseball, softball, or something like that. And like you said, you can blow out your knee and not be able to play a sport ever again in your life. And now these parents are gonna push their kids even harder with personal trainers, with year-round training. With you got an AAU game in North Carolina this weekend. Next week is in South Carolina. Next week is in Tennessee. That traveling time plays an effect, and you got to still keep your grades up. And then, like you said, these schools were getting. You got to think a Friday night game in a small town in a high school might hold 4,000 fans at $10 a piece. Those schools are counting on that money, but some of these kids might be pulled out of that for the AAU check, for the endorsement deal, whatever these endorsements, whatever avenue they want to go. So, like you said, with the coding and the plumbing and all those other aspects that they don't have, they should bring that stuff back. But do you think stuff like that's going to affect it?
I'm gonna give two names: Mikey Williams,
Yeah,
and Shador Sanders. And the reason I say that is here's the thing: the NIL is cool, but they're not. They're hurting the kids because these kids ain't humble. They don't have that work ethic behind them no more. They don't have that mindset of I gotta work hard. I'm already making billions of dollars. I'm going to the league, and I think that and it's funny how the league is shaping because of that. Because when you think about, when we thought about a Derrick Rose or a John Wall back in the day, they're going to the NBA. Now these kids, number one pick in the world in high school, ain't even make it to the G League.
Yep.
For sure.
So they got all this NIL money and they get all this stuff, and then they're nobodies. I ain't gonna say they're nobodies, but they're not in the league. Like, think about all these top athletes that aren't in the league because of NIL. Now, as far as the women, I love it for them because they're making more money in NIL than they're actually making in the WNBA.
Yep.
But at the same time, even with them, once they get out of school, I finally watched the WNBA draft this year. And I'm like, bro, all these girls got picked at, and 90% of them got cut. Like, why am I going to this draft and getting cut? I'm a top 10 pick, and I got cut. Like, what? And then they talking about the salaries. The girls making half the money, so they staying in college just to keep, the money going. So I do think for the women it's helpful, but for the men it's hurting them. These kids ain't got no hunger for sports no more. They barely doing the bare minimum. And Shador Sanders is a prime example. He just knew he was going to the NFL. He just till that second day came around and he don't know what's going on now.
Yeah.
And I think that made him turn back around. I think it humbled him a lot because it's like, all right, now I got to work again. Like, it ain't because I'm Deion Sanders' son. They don't care about that. You not Bronny. Like, Deion ain't in the Somebody said he Deion's son, bro. NIL has nothing to do with his work ethic. Shador has work ethic. He could just be a rich man's son. Shador versus Cam Ward, they're best friends, and look at the difference in how they play football. If you ever go watch an interview with Shador and Cam said when they were working out, he said, "You too pretty, you too prissy." Shador's like, "I need water. I'm hot." Cam like, "I don't get water in Florida. I don't get to do all." And guess who was the number one pick and who wasn't? And if you look at all those videos back then, Shador kept saying, "I'm going to the NFL. You gotta work hard. I don't. I'm going." So you see the difference in work ethic. So you can't say that one. I ain't saying that Shador sucks. What I'm saying is he had a cocky mindset and they humbled him.
Right.
They made an example out of him. Even with his talent, he should not have went where he went. But if you go back and look at what these NFL scouts were saying, he didn't want to play for this team. He didn't interview well. He didn't know the playbook. That's not work ethic. A kid that's coming from nothing, that has nothing, this is all they got. So if you look at him and Cam, when they talk, Cam like, I don't have none of that.
Right. The thing that's going to get worse with this next generation of athletes is because, remember, sports used to be its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now with the WWE, everything falls under sports entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Basketball, football, baseball, hockey, it all falls under sports entertainment. So I know in my mind as an old nigga that we gonna get to a point where some of these kids is gonna make the team because they got so many millions of followers, not because
Bronny
you know what I'm saying.
Bronny James, how you come out of college, high school, averaging under 15 points, go to college only average 8 and get picked in the NBA? When you got
Yeah,
players that's averaging 30, 40 points a game, 15 assists, can't even make it to the G League. But cook Bronny
right.
on the one-on-one.
Yeah.
Sharif Cooper is
Yeah,
a prime example. Even though he's an undersized guard, he was killing it. He's killing it in the G League. But then you think about these players that are like the Bronny James that get these big contracts because of who his dad is and not that good of an athlete and it's taking up spots because it's a popularity contest.
that's what it's becoming. That's what it's
Shador is a
becoming for sure.
popularity contest. Shador has fame behind his dad. Because if we're talking about athletes, look at his brothers. He's more of a face. He's more of entertainment to the eye than his brothers. But you know, and that's the thing about athletics. And I had to realize it. Like my brother be telling me about certain sports. Oh, the game is gonna go 7, or the game is gonna go 6. Look at the ticket sales. These people are
Exactly.
selling tickets before the game even starts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Caitlin Clark is not the best WNBA player, but you can't tell the world that right now. Like
Now
people
that I
forget who
definitely agree
Asia
with.
Wilson is. People talk about Angel Reese. Asia Wilson
Right.
run circles
And
on her.
that's why that they take up so much of a sports cast or just daily reporting. Like we shouldn't even be talking about Angel Reese no more. Caitlin is a little different because she can get the
She a
ball in the
bucket.
bucket. You know what I'm saying? So I get why her name keep coming up, but and it's no slight to Angel Reese. I feel like she get a lot of grief, but
Yeah.
also she put herself from the social media perspective. She exposed herself to the criticism that she gets.
Yeah, but I mean, even if we look at Caitlin Clark, what's the girl from UConn? Not
Oh,
not the
Paige.
one.
Paige,
No, no, no. I'm talking about the one that won like 4 championships. Nobody
Oh,
talks about.
Brianna Stewart,
Yes, that should be Angel Wilson and Brianna Stewart should be the main 2 names you're talking about when you say the WNBA. Not an
for
Angel Reese
sure.
and Caitlin Clark. And I don't care how cold people say Caitlin Clark is. She's not her.
No, for sure, for sure.
She's not a Stewie. Never will be, never can be, never won a championship in college. I don't care how many points she scored. But
well,
how
I
many
think,
times do we talk about Bree Stewie?
but I think also the WNBA doesn't know how to. You're a businessman. They don't know how to run the business and invest in the player. Like the NBA, you remember back in the day, we say the old school where you had. I'm not gonna say you had a lot of superstars, but I feel like you had way more superstars than now, as far as per team. And I think the WNBA, even though they have less teams, they don't know how to run it as far as a longevity business. Because if that's the case, you would invest in Asia Wilson more as far as the face. You wouldn't even put Caitlin Clark in there. You would wait at least 5 years for Caitlin Clark so she can pass the torch to somebody else to keep fans intrigued. Because after a while, people ain't gonna be intrigued because their mind frame is short already. You give Caitlin Clark a slump year, or she gets one bad rap as far as off the court issue, and all that shit gonna change. And they'll try to find somebody else, but it'll be too late.
And she'll get a ring.
Yeah.
And Asia getting a couple more.
It's wild. Like they was lazy. Like they didn't necessarily want the WNBA to work. And now because of the evolution of the game, the women's game, it's now catching up. Now
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, cause I have watched, as far as basketball is concerned, sanctioned basketball, I have watched more college level women's basketball than the NBA over the last probably 15 years.
I
You
ain't gonna
feel
lie,
me?
me too.
Yeah, just because, and it's starting to happen in the women's game, but the women's game they kept the old rules. You know what I'm saying? You see them walk now,
Yeah.
but it's not nearly as outrageous and egregious as it is in the men's game. Like it's disgusting. Like just at this point, just change the rules. They
And
still playing basketball with the same rules, and none of the old rules apply.
that's why I like college sports, period. because it's like how he said like work ethic in the comments and stuff. The thing that I look at with this college sports is like they still got that hunger, they still got that dog, they still got that mindset. It's like if I don't make it, I don't make it. But it is killing the game. Yeah, it's killing the game because, like you say, these same athletes, they don't care. Like how like I'm gonna even go back to Shador. How he was like Shador didn't even want to go to the combine. When did we ever start doing it? And a lot of people say he didn't go because they knew it would hurt his draft stock because he wasn't the athlete that everybody thought he was. But back in the day,
Right.
these athletes weren't missing out on the combine, even if they knew they was going number one. You know, and I think it's just our newer generation. I don't know how to say it. I don't want to say it's the AI and the internet. We soft in all aspects. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to like violence and stuff like that, illegal stuff. It's like these kids ain't hustling no more. They scamming. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't hard work. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't condoning any type of illegal activity. But when you think about back in the day when I was growing up, hustlers we saw was up night and day. These kids can
Right.
go make 10, 20, 30, $40,000 in a couple hours off their computer, and you never see them. And they go right back to sleep. So it's no hustle, it's no mentality, it's no rules of engagement, it's no work ethic no more compared to back in the day. Even when we look at the sports, how many of these athletes are taking breaks and they're not playing because they didn't feel like playing today, and they got a lower calf extremity. Like half of these words wouldn't even be used back then. Jordan was broken up, flu, all kind of stuff. Kobe, same way. These athletes get a cold. Oh yeah, I can't play tonight.
Yeah.
I'm on the sidelines. You know, I'm gonna chill on the sidelines, and it's the same thing with entrepreneurship and everything else. It's like if you got a following on social media, you don't have to do nothing else. And these people are going to extremes just to become famous.
Yeah, that's the
And it's
sad.
killing the community.
It definitely, and I'm glad you said that. Like, we don't the laziness of young people or people. We talk about the old and the young people miscommunication, but part of that is the laziness when it comes to the expectation that adults have for the kids, and the kids not understanding the expectation they're supposed to have.
Exactly.
Like they wake up and, like you said, if they can't make the money right then and there on the spot, then they feel like it's useless. But they don't understand, that work ethic is what gets you through the downtime or the slow times. That time to sit in your room and think, that prepares your mind for something happens in the future. Once again, you're a motivational speaker, so you talking to these kids and helping them, like, give them skills to get through the tough times. And I think that's what it is. Some of these kids, they don't know how to get through the tough times because social media is showing you that if you're broke, you're supposed to party, you're supposed to go to the club. If you're broke, you're still supposed to have fun. If you're broke, you're supposed to be like, nah, sit your ass still so this don't happen 5 years later, or when it does happen 5 years later, it doesn't last as long.
Okay, so hold on. I'm provocative right now. We talk about the necessity to invest in mental health issues and things like that. But I think that we don't. How much of this mental health journey and acceptance is us giving excuses for these kids not to be able to sit still?
Dang. So I'm gonna say this, and only because I love y'all, and y'all might get in trouble for it, but y'all know y'all always get me to keep it real. So I am going back to school, to get my license in social work, get my master's in that as well. And I speak in these schools and I teach social emotional learning. But the thing is, we use a lot of these things these days that they're excuses, because this narcissist thing, this I'm always depressed thing. It's like, yeah, we deal with depression. We have depressive moments. You're not bipolar. You're not depressive. You're using excuses to make people feel sorry for you. You're using these things to make an excuse for you not to have to do what you're supposed to do. And it's so easy to go to a mental health place and be diagnosed with all these different things. But when we think about it, how many kids that, and y'all older than me, how many times could we use the word depression or bipolarness or narcissism when we got in trouble and went home? Our parents don't
None.
care about that. This belt coming either way. So the belt is bipolar, the belt got narcissism, the belt is depressed, the belt is angry and dealing with schizophrenia and all of these other things. And this belt is gonna get you back in the normal mindset. You was hearing 3 people in your head, now you about to hear 2. You
Yeah.
need this belt. So at the end of
And
the day, it's like, I'm not saying that mental health is not serious, and I'm not saying that we don't go through these things, but at the same time, how much are we going to continue to use that as a forefront to cover up just who we are? That man isn't a
that's
narcissist. You knew that dude was crazy when you met him. He wasn't
that's
manipulative because he has this narcissism and you see it in the hospitals all the time. No, he know how to get over on you, and that's what he's going to do.
and I
But the
feel
moment you
like
put your foot down is the moment that it stops.
it, that's exactly my point, man. And it's like, as far as we're afraid of a corrective action, we're afraid to correct these kids. So they put the blinders on you by saying, okay, well, he didn't have this, or he's under these circumstances. We've been dealing with trials and tribulations our entire life as a people. You feel me? And even in your day to day, like clocking in at a job, because like now FMLA, if a job offers FMLA, 80% of people just know how to play the game. They know how to play the game, man. And I
And you can leave it
I
on
don't want
mental
to
health.
be exact, like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't want to say that there's not people out there with issues that affect them and afflict them. But also, what about them just being accountable for certain behavior?
I think the thing is with a lot of that is, so I speak on both sides of it. So I'm gonna speak on the devil advocate side of it. A lot of things that people are going through, it's deeper than what they see from the beginning. And I spoke on that today. Myself with some of the issues I deal with. It's getting back to those things of internal traumas and things that create these traits within us. If somebody tells you that you're depressed and you're this and that, these kids believe it these days. But when you think about it from our generations, how many teachers told us we weren't gonna never be anything? So if we go believe
For
whatever the
sure.
world instills in us, then we'll never become more than what the world instills in us. But what we have now is a lot of embracing of certain things that allow people to feel like this is all they can be. I am a narcissist. I am bipolar. I do need to take this medicine. I need this downer. I need this drug. I need this. I need that. No, you don't. You need to get up and hold yourself accountable. When I first had asthma, people say, "Yo, you got asthma." Do I have asthma? Absolutely. But can I run better than somebody that don't? Absolutely, because I push myself. I push myself to my limits. I'm not going to allow this to stop me from becoming who I can become. So a lot of these people, it's not even about what you say you're diagnosed with. It's the fact of what you're going to do with it. You
Right.
say I'm this, so let me show you how I'm not going to be this. How am I going to defeat this? How am I going to fight this? Because what a lot of times happens, like even with depression, like I tell people all the time, like, yeah, I deal with depression. I have a lot of friends that are dead and gone. But at the end of the day, once I shed them few tears, I'm gonna wipe my face and I'm going back to what I need to do. I don't sit in my emotions. Where this new
Right.
generation, they sit in their emotions and people tell them it's okay to suffer. It's okay to
And you
it is okay to feel. But it's also okay to feel yourself get up. It's okay to rise up to the occasion. It's okay to understand, yeah, this relationship hurt me and I gotta set boundaries. Yes, you do have to set boundaries. But also you have to respect those boundaries and have them on yourself. Because if you're saying you need this, and this to grow, are you doing this, and this to grow? Because I get so tired of these women with all these standards and stuff that they got and couldn't even cook a meal. Want Ruth Chris and talking about Cheesecake Factory they is cheap. Girl, you can't even pay your light bill. You on food stamps.
mm,
You know, I I also blame that, and I ain't gonna call it the me too. I'm gonna call it that I got that too. You know, people when you talk about depression, some kids ain't even going through that. They have depression, but they homeboy or somebody in school they see got it, and they got over on a deal or got an A or got excused, so they say, "Well, I got that too." Or they look it up online and it's similar to what they how they feel, but they ain't got it. But I got that too. Or you know, you got that job and you got a promotion. I ain't get it, but they did me bad. It's like there's so many things that people accept that as them, but it's really not what who or what you are. You just categorizing yourself as that, and people got to reassess that.
Yeah, I feel like we definitely it's like all these things happen, and then we have to do an overcorrection to fix some shit that we caused. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't necessarily just blame the kids because you gotta
It's the adult.
it is exactly because they're setting the precedents with these new rules, with these new diagnoses, with these it's always something to put you in a category. You know what I'm saying? And I think we got to have a more powerful discussion. I think parents need to pull their motherfucking britches up. Like, I get it. Nobody wants to intentionally inflict pain mentally or physically, or not nobody. Most people don't want to inflict pain on their kids. But also, you are about to release this wild animal into after accepting all the crazy behavior. Eventually you're gonna have to release this animal into the wild.
And I
You
think
feel me?
I think the thing is, and it's two things I'm gonna say. One of the things is, and people ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. All the zodiac signs and the symbols of the zodiac signs are all the same.
I just said this the other day.
And people go so crazy about it. They be like, you can have it. They be like, oh well, I'm a Virgo because I be posting stuff because it just be me. Like, but honestly, if you really look at the symptoms of each one of them, it's normal things that normal people do every single day. Oh, I'm a Capricorn, so I stay and I pay attention to people. Girl, I do too, and I ain't no Capricorn. Oh, I don't like when people yell at me because I'm gonna snap back. Girl, I will too, and I'm not a Scorpio. Like, but
Right.
the other thing is these parents ain't these parents ain't holding themselves accountable to the things that they didn't do and they didn't make and they didn't have happen in their lives. So now they're pushing that on their children. And I think the thing is, our children believe what people tell them. If you tell your child that, hey, you know, we're oppressed, we're this, we're that, and we can't handle this and we can't handle this, that's how your child's gonna grow up.
Exactly.
Just
That's
like
what
with
I'm
the police
saying.
thing and the police brutality, when people be like, well, why don't you, focus on that with your daughter? First of all, Kaden, if you talk to these cops in a professional manner and they can tell that you have some type of intelligence behind you, they're not gonna bother you. Why? Because they know that you're capable of getting back at them. If you ever think about it, I ain't never seen the police beat a black man that was in a car in a suit. I've never seen a police officer beat somebody that got a college shirt on and saying that they're going off the college. I don't see that. Now, do you see that, in schools with hate crime stuff like yes. But when you really think about this police brutality, and people be like, oh well, Black Lives, no, you're from the suburbs. That's why you're saying Black Lives Matter. We've adapted to how they gonna treat us. But
Right.
you out of the suburbs, they ain't never mess with you. They might pull you over though, but once they get to talking to you and they see, yes, officer, what made you pull me over today? Oh yeah, we leaving him alone. He might have
Right.
somebody back him that'll be willing to sue me. So
Now I
your
definitely
daughter
agree
lose and
with
you gonna
that.
snap back? No, come at them professionally. Talk to them in
Right.
their language. Talk
I
correctly and see
definitely
how they treat you.
yeah, I agree that a lot of times the misunderstandings, the altercations that come from police is profiling. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? It's definitely from profiling. Um, I also don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be misconstrued
It's
that
wrong
these
altogether.
police need to
But
be
yeah, it's
better
wrong
than what they
altogether.
are.
But
But I do know that they recognize when somebody has a resource. Like they'll pull a motherfucker over and they'll see him over. They be like, "Oh, he ain't got no bail money. He ain't got no
I'm
lawyer.
gonna get him.
I'm gonna get him." You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you have some type of sense about you, you know what I'm saying, and you speak back to them in a certain way, you may still get treated badly, but they know, okay, this one can be swept under the rug, and they
This
also
ain't
know this one they gonna have to call the captain. Hey,
yeah,
Cap, we gonna have a problem.
this ain't
But
and
yeah,
that's and it's not right and it's not that, but at the same time, like I tell a lot of people, it's like we can't talk about police brutality when we racially profile our own people.
we definitely do. We
If I
definitely
look
do.
a certain way and I walk up to you, like I tell these people that they used to get mad, you don't believe in Black Lives Matter. I say you the same kid that when I was walking back from school, you drove past.
Yep.
Yeah,
So don't tell me nothing about no police brutality and how we all the same because we not. Because you won't even come in my neighborhood because you scared you might get robbed. Let's really talk about it. So when
for
I'm
sure,
going
for
to these
sure.
schools and I'm talking to our black kids, I'm not coming at that angle of, this, and that, because half of y'all don't even, like y'all say, when you talking about the money of the audiences, buddy off Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, what's it, Carlton? A Carlton don't understand a wheel, never will, never can. So when you telling me that, oh, well, I need to be in marching and this and that, I say, bro, when y'all look at them marches, how many people from the hood is marching?
Yeah.
We not. Because we know what we got to go back and deal with. And there's a chance that they're going to grab us out of that audience before they grab you.
Mm.
So
So
at the end of
speaking
the
of,
day, when you talk about, changing these things in these neighborhoods, I say, go drink our water. Go touch that water fountain that's hot and there's bugs and flies all in it. Or the water may not even work. Why are you talking about this? Is the resources we need. And I think these are the things that these educators need to also understand is y'all have to understand where these people are coming from. Like, and it goes back to the beginning of the conversation. Until you know what I'm dealing with, or you put yourself in my shoes for 5 minutes, you're not gonna know what I'm dealing with. So when you talking to these kids that got anger problems, that they got issues, they're not angry. That's how they know to defend themselves. They're taught as a kid, yo, don't let nobody talk to you any type of way. Don't let nobody disrespect you. That's why when they say these, man, I don't care what the police officer got to say. I don't. You may not. Like my friend, he did a thing, and he was talking on stage, and the kid was like, "I hate the police. I hate the police." And they was like, "Well, why you hate them? They just always bothering us." And they was like, "Well, when they bother you, do you have stuff?" No, I just got rid of it. You still have it. You know what I'm
You
saying?
still had it.
You hate the police for these reasons that somebody told you, but who you call when somebody jump in your car? Who you talk to when somebody gets shot? Who you calling when this and that happen, when you need protection? So it's not even that, and it's more so when we talking to these kids and we talking to these kids, we have to look at these parents. Is this parent working 3 jobs? Are we giving the parents the resources to fix their credit so they can get their kids out of these platforms? Or are we allowing these parents to go and get food stamps and live off WIC and unemployment and all this other stuff? Because it's crazy how a 60-year-old person can't get food stamps, but this girl that got 15 babies that she keep having got
Mm.
$3,000 in food stamps that she's selling. And this grandma don't work for 15 years and can't even move really and can only get $20, $30 in food stamps.
Yeah,
Our system is made for us not to hold ourselves accountable, and they give us excuses to not hold ourselves accountable. And I tell people all the time, I'm not gonna come in here and I'm not gonna speak to you about what you can do, because it really don't matter what you can do. It's what you gonna do.
yeah,
What position you gonna put yourself in? What position you gonna put your family in? Are you gonna make these changes, or are you gonna say that I'm depressed and due to social media they told me that I was a narcissist and my life ain't gonna do no better, and I got autism and I got schizophrenia and I got Hal's burgers and I got this burger and I got that burger and I gotta take Ritalin, Adderall, I gotta take hydrocodone, might even need to take a little bit of coke. Like what? Like come on, bro. Like it makes no sense. And then this music, it ain't no better. We got R&B. What is it? Hood R&B now? Like
hood R&B. They talk about killing people over R&B tracks.
yeah, and these kids love it.
yeah. I
When I
got
went to
sunshine. You turn the Temptation song into I'ma slide on you, guy. That shit
Like
crazy.
what?
so I
I
wanted
got
to ask you
sunshine with a 4.5. Like hold on, brother. Wait a
with
minute.
the way the business with the tariffs. You as a businessman, the tariffs has affected Americans to protest. But how do you view it when you go to these schools? How do the kids perceive what their future is looking like?
Mm.
I think more so it's not the tariffs. It's more so I think they worry about AI because that's all they hear is we're not gonna have jobs. If you don't know computers and you don't know technology, you're gonna be out of everything. And I think it's more so understanding that. I haven't really heard anything, not even from teachers about the tariffs or taxes or anything like that. It's just
Well,
more
that's they're
so.
gonna hide that. That's gonna be that slow grind that they not gonna see till it's too late. Like the kids don't understand that. Hey, mom and dad, the extra $20 they used to give you, now it's about $15, $16 that they like. That's the
It's
part that
like $5.
it's
Yeah.
like $5. But the parents gave them a reason why I can only give you $5, but it's really the way of the government. Like, do we need to preach these kids getting back into politics? You used to have what the school president used to have certain things in school to promote democracy. Is it
Future
something they need
business
to
leaders of America and all that.
do they need to reinvest because what the world is today?
I think we need to invest more into. I I hate to say this, but entrepreneurship. The 9 to 5 world is the only world getting hit right now because we get millionaires left and right now. It's a lot of millionaires and billionaires right now, and ain't none of them 9 to 5. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I even speak on my profession. It's a lot of speakers out here that get paid more than your top HR consultants just to speak one time into an organization. You know what I'm saying? They getting $100,000 just to speak for an hour. So
Yeah.
I think it's more so about teaching these kids how to really create this passive income and understanding that a job just ain't gonna do it. Back in the day, a job you could suffice with. Now with how things are playing out and how these professions are playing out, people aren't really in businesses anymore. Like think about how many people are news reporters now that ain't even real news reporters. Like when you look at this Diddy case,
And
it ain't
better at
news
the
channels
job.
people watching. It's people's
Right.
YouTube channels that they're watching. When you think about these businesses and these corporations, I have to look at politics because if you think about the politics right now, the conversation ain't politics. The person that's the president right now is a business owner.
yep.
He running the country like a business. And then
Failing.
the person that's his right hand that helped him get there, that he's beefing with right now, is Elon Musk, which is another business owner. So now
Right.
we're realizing that politics don't run the world, business runs the world. And I think that currency of business is what needs to be started talking about. Understanding passive income, understanding how to build, a legacy. Because the more and more I'm around these high profile people, all of them talk about real estate investing. All of them talking about building that real estate portfolio. We not hearing nothing about no real estate in school or why we should buy property. We don't care about no Christopher Columbus. He's quote unquote stolen. We ain't talking about
Right.
the person that's fixing and flipping these houses and making $40,000-$50,000 per house. So I don't think we're in a recession. Only certain people are in one. Because these rich people still living how they living. You know what I'm saying? They still
Please believe that.
game. They still, what I'm saying, doing whatever they want to do. Kai just rented out a whole school. Let's not forget that. This man rented out a whole school during a recession for a couple of days just to put a bunch of streamers around each other. So I think it's not more so talking politics. It's more so creating programs for these kids to understand that it's more to you. School is structured, and I hate to say this because I speak in them. School is structured for you to be a worker.
Yeah,
For
I've heard
sure.
that, bro.
And
For
it's
sure.
structured to teach you how to be. If you think about it, we talk about a 9 to 5. A school is 8 to 3.
Yeah,
And once you leave the school, it's nothing else you got to do. A little bit of homework. So when you're talking to a 9 to 5er, and they're like, "Oh, I'm off at 5 o'clock. I don't have nothing else to do."
but
Same difference.
they do need a social events. We have school dances and skate night and stuff like. These
I
kids
think
need a social because some of these kids once school's over, they on lockdown and there's no
they need to
social
go
release.
outside.
Yeah, but yeah, go out.
And I
But
think it's putting that computer down, and that's what I'll say. Based off what you just said, I think is more so, and this is what I hate seeing in the schools. I go into school, I go in the classroom, and they're like, "Well, they're on the computers right now. They're doing their work on the computers." Teachers aren't teaching. That's why they're able to make all these TikToks with these students because 90% of their work on a laptop. It's no interpersonal connections. It's no I'm teaching you and I can figure out where you're failing at. It's no one-on-ones no more. It's no, hey, let me look at your test. Let me, go study because I got a computer in front of me. I'm doing majority of my work on a computer, so now you're taking relationship skills away.
They like where I'm at. My daughter, there's kids on the right, kids on the left, but she don't play with them. They stay in their house in their lane. And now my daughter goes to my parents' house. There's other kids in their hood. She fly out the house like we was kids.
That's but that is.
Yeah, but that's part of the issue because I might want to let my daughter out, but they might not want to let their kid out, and vice versa. So there's no interaction after school.
So it's the same difference, though.
Do you consider that lazy of the parents?
I don't think they lazy. I think everybody is fucking terrified. That's what I think. If I send my kid to play with your kid, I don't know if your stepfather is a pedo.
Yeah.
You feel me? I think it's a lot. I think that's a lot of parents' anxiety as far as now for poor kids, and not to say you rich, brother, but for poor kids, when you on a block and nobody got shit, then yeah, everybody outside because nobody got shit. But for the middle class kids, I feel like the middle class kids are the ones that are the most at risk. Those are the dudes that's going out, the YNs that's going out, and they don't have to go out. Their parents worked 2 jobs to pay the mortgage on a nice house. They bought their kid a car, and he decide he want to live that rap life, so he go get a pound of reefer, and he want to drive out as soon as his mom leave for her second job to go be on bullshit. I feel like a lot of times kids are not outside, young kids especially, because parents are terrified of the outside. They terrified of what happens when they kids are outside of their preview.
I think though the reason why I gotta think differently is because a lot of these parents, it ain't even about that. I'm gonna give you a game system and I'm gonna give you a phone. I can put you to the side. I'm not even in the house playing with you. Because it's different if, you know what I'm saying, you playing with your child and you're interacting with your child, but most of the parents aren't. And I have a bad habit of that, and I know it myself, is like if Kaden playing on her phone, I'm not gonna bother her. I'm not gonna be like, Kaden, let's go outside and throw the football or kick the ball or nothing like that. Now if she acts, of course, because that's my baby, but I think a lot of parents is I'm upstairs, I'm doing my own thing, you do your own thing, you play these games, because if we're talking about the safety of our kids, I don't know if you ever heard these kids get on these games and talk to each other, but it be some wild stuff said.
Yeah.
And you're right. And it's because they parents.
Like, hey, what you just say? Or what that little girl just said? Get off of that.
Right.
So that I feel like that's actually worse than the parents in the neighborhood, because now these kids want to go to this event or go to this or go to that, and then they're not even where they're supposed to be at.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and like I said, my daughter, when she here, we in the hospital. She at my pop's house. She on a 4-wheeler. She getting it. She getting it in on the 4-wheeler. And there's kids out there that she can play with. She'll get off and she'll play with her. But around here, it's like my daughter got out the car and seen kids on both sides where they live at. They wave and they go out. You don't hear nobody for the rest of the day. So of course, my daughter, she either gonna be, watching TV, doing homework on her iPad, or whatever. But as soon as she get to my parents' house, it's just like her mood is, I want to go outside, and she'll go outside and play by herself. Like I said, she's going on 4-wheeler, get on a scooter. She'll rip and run for 3-4 hours by herself. Now I will give my daughter credit; she can play by herself, and I think that's part of the mental development that some kids don't have. And part of that was COVID also, because COVID caused you to sit your ass down at a young age if you don't know how to control that. And then depending on how your parents conducted during COVID, they might have said, sit in your room with the door open, and I'm be on this other side of the house with the door open just so I can hear you. Like, that's a lot for a kid, between 5 and 13 to live like that for them several months. And you trying to come out the side.
and then they
Yeah,
cut
so
because you think about the
now,
computers.
like you said about that depressed, now he's already in the depressed setting. He might not have been depressed, but the setting is depressed now. So,
Yeah.
so a lot of, like I said, a lot of that stuff is on us, but it's the communication between the kids and the adult. We have expectations of certain kids at a certain age, and the kids don't know their expectation because they think they should do less for more, and adults are like, nah, you need to get over that. You need to get over that hump for me to meet you halfway.
And I think the
I
other
don't think
piece,
enough adults are doing that though.
that's what I was gonna say. I think the other piece is kids raising kids a lot, man.
Yeah, it
A
is.
lot of kids raising kids, and even if they're adults my age, it's like being in Houston, bro. Like I love it, but I hate it because everybody's clubbing. Like you 35, you 38, you 40. Like why are you still in the club with 18-year-olds? Why are you popping 10 bottles? Like you
Yeah,
ain't got to go to work and got kids at the crib. Like what are we doing? But it's like with the social media thing is you're never too old. You're never
yeah.
too old to have fun. You're never too old to no. Go spend some time with your children. You don't need to be in the club every weekend. So it's kids raising kids, and then it's I don't want to deal with my kids, so I can go drink and have fun with my friends. It's the
Yeah.
it's the mindset of this new generation of culture that I think is harming not only our children but it's harming us. Because that's the thing, like how we were just talking about like the money and we don't have the income to do these things, but yet we have money to go and do these things. We
For
can't get
sure.
a job or we can't go to work. We depressed, but we can go to the club, like you say, and let it out in the club. Like that's not gonna do it. And I see so many people running to just pills and liquor and all these different things. The overdoses is just as I feel bad as the '90s now.
Yeah.
But it's just in
Yeah.
a different way. You know what I'm saying? We seen overdoses back then because these people on the side of the street and stuff like that. A lot of these overdoses are hush hush. They had a heart attack. No, they overdosed.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
You ain't got
crazy, man.
you ain't got no money to pay your $600 rent, but you just bought four $20 pills. That's part of your money.
Right. You
That's
got a
part.
whole
It ain't all of
medicine,
it, but it's part
whole
of it.
medicine bottle full of perks.
Good.
And
Around here, with your goddamn, you know what I'm saying, with the loose booty, because your
Mm.
stomach fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Go give some
it's a
blood. You know
lot.
how much money you get for giving blood?
A lot of things we need to do better. And like I said, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. As far as my peer group, I feel like black people are doing better overall than worse. You know what I'm
we
saying?
definitely are.
We just have to pick it up to where, you know, everybody can't go along. We can have the best intentions in the world for our community at large. But just the sheer numbers of it, the percentages, it's always going to be a group of people that's just going to be on bullshit.
Well,
You
let me
feel
ask you
me?
this: if you got a group, and Miss Six Ways, you got a group, and I got a group, we got our own village, and then there's like 3 to 5 dudes that know all of us, but they ain't got no group, but they always on some bullshit. Do we suck them into one of our groups, or do we just leave them out? Because I think that's the
You
problem.
can
Also,
only offer. You can
that's what I'm
only
saying.
offer.
But I think
Everybody
that's
ain't going to
part of.
follow your lead.
But that's what
So
I'm saying. But I think that's part of the problem, especially with these kids, is fitting in. Fitting in has always been an issue with kids from the beginning of time. The fitting in. Now, if I got a group of dudes I find successful in any type of way, y'all got it, and then we have a group of 5 sitting in the middle of us. If they can't, if they can't understand how to do it, do we open our arms to pull them in, or do we be like, "Hey, brother, door open, just come when you come"? Because I
If
think
they
that's
have
the
a,
issue.
I think the
if they
issue.
have
I think
if
the
they
issue.
have a genuine interest and they just don't get it, I will work with you. But bullshit don't look like genuine interest.
So
Yeah,
I gotta go the other way with that. I think a lot of people don't know their potential till somebody tell them.
yep,
So I look at it differently because that's one of the reasons I do go speak in these schools, because those 4 or 5 individuals, I've been told no my whole life. I've been told I ain't gonna be shit. I've been told this. Look, like if you go back and watch that Michael Beasley interview where he went viral for crying, you know how many guys out there that are like that. But if you look at Michael Beasley, how many people in the NBA was like, man, he's a lost cause.
Yeah.
Send him off. So it ain't about, you know, them showing genuine interest. He may have genuine interest, but why am I gonna show you genuine interest? Because you're not gonna be patient enough to teach me. Because you're here and you feel like I can't. I'm a liability, and then that person also thinks they're self to their liability. Why would you want to help me? It's gonna take me a long time, so I'm not even gonna get in your way. I hear you saying you want to help me, but everybody that has tried to help me has stopped because I don't get it as quickly as everybody else. So that brings back to my passion of speaking, because it's so many kids and so many adults that they want somebody to believe in them, but they so used to people just stopping. When times get hard and times get rough, like you say, if we all got money and we making success right now, I ain't got time to deal with you. I done gave you the play. I done told you 3 times. You ain't get it the first 3 times, so you ain't gonna get it the 4th time. Now that person feels like a lost cause, and now they're gonna go do what they know they're good at. So I think you pull those people in. Now it's a certain thing. It's not about pulling them in. It's about when they abuse the fact that they got pulled in.
Right.
It's
For
about
sure.
the fact that
That's
you
real.
get in bad positions. So if I go be like, yo, we getting money and you keep fumbling, cool. But if I tell you, yo, I want you to be my security, but every time we go somewhere, you perked out. All right, bro, I can't do nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you let people walk by and get close to me and you know, you ain't understanding, hey, bro, that person can't be that close. All right, bro, I got you. I'm learning. That's different. But if you go in and let's say I bring you in this circle and you telling the girls like, yeah, you know, we really get money over here. You put me in bad situations, then I distance myself.
Yeah, you
But
doing
if
too
you're
much.
trying and you just keep fumbling and messing up, now I'm gonna keep you with me, because if I don't, you're gonna fall by the wayside, and the person that gonna tell you to go do something dumb, now you're in a bad situation. And that's why a lot of our community get lost in the sauce, because I can't tell you how many of these kids could have been successful and could have been great, but nobody said, you know what, let me grab it. They don't
Yeah.
look
Right.
like they're gonna make it. They don't look like they need help. Some people, like, if we really think about the Lean on Me movie, it wasn't the fact that these kids weren't successful. They needed to know somebody loved them and wasn't going to give up on them. When I changed as a kid, when I was, you know, getting in trouble and all of that, it was the 2nd grade. Now, I ain't acting like I was just getting in trouble all my whole life. But in the 2nd grade, my teacher said, because I used to run away, she said, listen, I'm not calling your mama. I'm not calling your grandma. You're going to sit with me today. And I knew in that moment, like, okay, she not playing with me. Like, I can't go to my outlet. This
Right.
person is gonna stick beside me. But also at the same time, as I got older and I got to high school, it was like, man, we ain't dealing with him. He stay in trouble. He graduated at 16. How? Him? So you gotta think about it. So when we say that, it's like, if we don't pull our culture up, we're doing everything that the white man was already doing to us.
You
Yeah.
said that.
Like,
You
I,
said that.
short story before we got here. Like, we had been doing this for a while when it happened. We had a guest come on. It was a nice vibe. And about a week later, it might not even been a week later, a couple days later, he hit me up about doing a show. Now, it wasn't a day we scheduled a show or nothing like that. But I was at work. I'm at my job. I'm at my place of employment. So I can't respond as fast as he would like. And he was just like, man, you know, when people put you in position and put you on certain plays, you always got to be ready. And in my mind, I was like, all right, I understand that next time. But in my head, I'm like, I'm doing my obligations in life right now is to make sure the old lady, my daughter, have what they need by me keeping this damn job. Like, I understand what he was trying to say about being ready at any time, but in the same sense, it's like, be
It's gonna
respectful
be
of everybody.
times. It's gonna be times where you got to take chances.
Yeah.
That's what they are. That you got to take chances. So
But
But
speaking of
he
that,
has to.
I feel like at the same time, if I'm really giving you an opportunity and a chance, I'm not putting you in a liability situation to do it. Now,
yeah,
if you go
That's
make a
real.
chance on your own and you like, yo, I'm leaving work and I'm about to hop on this interview, you show, bro. You showed, yeah, but I'm not gonna be like, hey, bro, I gave you this opportunity, you missed it because you wanted to go to work.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
was
that
like,
sound crazy.
and I
My
never,
intentions ain't genuine.
and I never talked to dude ever again. He never contacted me about doing a show. I never contacted him. I felt like that. Like I'm growing up to know where I should be able to evaluate, where I'm at right now in life on any given day. And for you to hit me up and I'm at work, it's like everybody's work shit is different. Me and my brother, we ain't making no millions of dollars where we on some damn Vlad TV, Shannon Sharp. We got a studio, we got other shit to do outside of this. So if I'm trying to live my life, I can only do it. And all I can do is say, hey man, my bad. Next time I see what I can do. I never got hit back again. But those are opportunities that it didn't stall me out. It just made me think different. But also, if it had to happen to some of these kids, that's when they'd be like, man, they would use that depressed shit. Or later on, they'd be like, man, I'm depressed now, right? Why are you depressed? Man, I missed this. No, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. It's not that major for you to be depressed or something like that.
And I think and I want to leave us with this too. And I'm glad you said that. And this is a problem with our people. We have to understand genuine intentions and ungenuine intentions. A lot of our people aren't really trying to put us on the next stage. They're trying to use us as an example to give a receipt. And we have to understand the difference between somebody that genuinely cares and genuinely wants to see us succeed, or look at us as another dollar. Look at it as a benefit, because we step on each other so much by saying we're giving another person an opportunity, or we did this and we did that for them. I've always was told that you don't have to celebrate and show out about what you did, because the results will show. That person will post and say that you helped them more so than you said it. And if you gotta say it and you gotta tell the person what you did for them, and you gotta tell the world that, you didn't genuinely do it from the heart. You did it for a benefit of yourself. You know that this person was already on the verge of being successful. You just wrote the coattails because he was already successful, which helps you become more successful. So it's not a benefit
Right.
to the person. So y'all have to understand, as a community of people that is listening right now, understand genuine intentions and ungenuine intentions. Because if that person had genuine intentions, oh man, I didn't know you was at work. Man, we might miss the opportunity, but if I get another one, I'll let you know. You know what I'm saying? Just be ready for the opportunity when it comes. I'll try to make it around your schedule. You got to feed the family first. I've met so many people, hey, should I do this? No, bro. Be comfortable first. Because what you're going to do is you're going to jump off that porch and you're going to think that this is sweet, and it ain't sweet. And when you're in those moments where your back is against the wall, you ain't going to know what to do. And the last route I want you to take is the route that is going to get you locked up. Because when a person's back against the wall, when they talking about this entrepreneurship stuff, hey, don't nobody say you ain't make sales this month. Them lights got to be paid. And don't go put yourself in a situation where now you got an eviction. You know what I'm saying? Because you chasing this dream because somebody told you to chase your dream, but they ain't tell you that they had somebody back them. They didn't tell you they failed. And that's what happens a lot of times is people don't want to tell you the real problems and the real things that go on with this. This ain't easy. This ain't fun. And you gonna work more than 8-9 hours. You gonna be at night sometime crying.
Man, I hate that. I'm talking about everybody should be a boss. Everybody meant to be a
Somebody
worker.
gotta be a follower.
Somebody, yep,
Somebody got to be the worker. Everybody can't be the boss.
And
Somebody got
everybody
to
ain't
work.
handle that pressure.
I hate that shit.
And you saying that, the crazy thing about it is they telling people everybody should be a boss, but here's the thing: a boss is somebody that takes a lot of the grunt work. Is the one that don't eat. You know what I'm saying? I was watching a video and they was talking about the Marines. How the Marines do it is it's not something set in stone, but the leaders eat last.
Yeah.
Everybody else eats first based off ranking. A lot of these bosses want to be at the top, and they got their people doing belittle work. Like Icewear Vizzo was talking about it. He was saying how he don't like how these rappers be having their homeboys going to grocery stores for them and running like little dumb errands and making sure the water got ice in it. Like that ain't my homeboy. Like why would I have my homeboy going to get ice for me? Like that
Right.
ain't a leader. You know what I'm saying? I could pump my own gas. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not giving them a job because that ain't making them no money. They a do-boy. So a lot of these people screaming boss, 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 and leader, 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 but you eating first. You blaming everybody else for stuff. You're not on the front line. You're not making sure that, all right, if I'm the boss, I may not get paid today. I gotta
Right.
feed the team first. That's the boss. That's the boss that's gonna take it. You take care and you provide for your people. That's what make you a boss. That's what make you a leader, not because you making the most money. And that's the problem.
In a real way, man. Look, we done ran a whole gamut of different subject matter, but it all results to the same thing for the most part, man. Um, Accountability, respect, um, discernment, all those things fell in the conversation that we had, man. We talked about a lot of sensitive subjects. Don't feel no kind of way. I would probably say it again. If you took offense to it, I would probably say it again. Um, your understanding and my understanding are not always going to be the same thing. I'm grown and mature enough to know that. But before we get out of here, man, Mr. Six Ways, anything you want to tell the people about what you got going on?
Yeah, we're actually doing a credit and funding masterclass coming up on June 25th. We about to drop the flyer probably tonight. We got 2 more books coming out on June 25th as well. Hopefully, one is called Reaching and Teaching Yourself: How to Figure Out How to Get Back to the Real You, and then we have Reaching and Teaching Your Soulmate. And both of these books are just undiscovering broken pieces of you, traumas within you, and how to heal from the things that have hurt you, and how to really grasp your life back again and take control of it and live the life that you want to live and fulfill the destinies and purpose you have in life. But those are the things we got coming up. Just keep updated with us, keep supporting us, keep loving me and Kaden, keep watching our videos, and we love you all.
Give your socials and your websites, whatever else you got.
Oh yeah, Mr. Six Ways on everything. My website, if you're looking to book me, is anthonydodson.net. If you're looking to build a business or create a legacy for your family and make generational wealth, you can go to our other website, which is www.theb2bmethod.org. I always say, stop borrowing your kids everything you never had and start teaching them everything you didn't know. That's how you truly build generational wealth.
I know that's right. We appreciate you for that, brother. What you want to tell the people, Carolina?
I want to appreciate Mr. Six Ways. When I hit him up about doing the show, he said, "Yeah, I'm always down to do it with y'all." Man, it's always a good conversation. Feels good to the soul.
For
so
sure.
I appreciate you always giving us good conversation. You always like you be in tune with us, like mentally. Like when we have shows, it's like we always on the same wavelength, and the conversation go any type of way. So I want to commend you on that. I want to commend you on your motivation, your public speaking. Like I'll be watching. I'm in one of your groups where every morning you send out messages. You always got something positive to say. You always got something real to say about you and your situation. But as a young Black father, business owner, entrepreneur, and all that, like, salute to you.
Appreciate it.
You're trying to show people, not just kids, not just those. You're trying to show people there's other avenues that are just as good, and you can be positive about it, and you can do it your way. So we appreciate you, sir. Definitely want to have you back. There's a couple things I want to touch on that it's hard to get touch on an hour when you're having a good conversation. But yeah, I definitely want to have you back on the show.
For sure. I'm always down.
Hey, man, in a real way, man. Normalize making these conversations. People that look like us, a lot of times suits and ties and titles can be intimidating, man. I'm glad that we can have a regular barbershop conversation about critical thinking. You know what I'm saying? About situations, have opinions that are different from one another, and agree and allow those opinions to be heard. You know what I'm saying? That's what I pride myself on at the BOTB Live Show, is allowing people, or not allowing, but having people on that have enough respect to voice their opinions, but not die on the heel of their opinion. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just enough to be heard, and you got to be all right with that. Outside of that, man, special shout out to Anthony Dodson and everything he got going on, man. Everything you got going on, brother. Again, you do phenomenal work, phenomenal speaking, and it comes from a good place. That's the best thing about you. But this is the BOTB Live Show, man. I'm Jay Walker III. That's Carolina Dirt, man. Tap in with Mr. Six Ways, man, on IG and social media platforms of the like. And until the next time, man, y'all be easy, man. We gone.
Easy.